Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our monthly look at Flesh and Blood sales data off of TCG Player, this time for the month of December 2024. So as usual, we have Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, Arcane Rising Unlimited, and Crucible of War Unlimited up here to start with. The horizontal axes have been set to 2 months time, so you can see these big jumps for Black Friday, and the Black Friday weekend bled into December. It included Sunday the 1st and Monday the 2nd of December. So some of these results will reflect that, and we'll talk about it now. I have actually looked at these results already prior to beginning filming. Some months I do and some months I don't. So if we bring up the month over month table, what we'll see as usual is the number of boxes sold in November, the number in December, the month over month percentage change, November average sales price, December average sales price, the month over month change in that, and then you multiply the two together and you get the revenue numbers. So what we see is we had 80 boxes in November. Remember, that would have included Black Friday itself and the Saturday of that Black Friday 4-day weekend that TCG Player had the bonus buck sale. Now, the last 2 days are in the December month, but you expect that most of the buying should be happening on Friday. In fact, you expect almost all of it to happen Friday and then very little to happen Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So what did we see? A drop from November to December, and we expect that. You know, my experience as a seller on TCG Player is that bonus buck sales pull a lot of demand to the left on the timeline. They get a lot of people to go ahead and buy things right then during a bonus buck sale, but then in the week or 2 weeks afterwards, you'll generally see reduced purchasing of your products. For Arcane Rising, 60 boxes during November with Black Friday, and then only 28 in December, so a fall of over 50% month to month. And Crucible of War Unlimited, 45 in November, 33 in December. So kind of interesting that we still managed to see 70 boxes sold of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. And when you look at the actual blue line of the sales right here, you see that it's rising all month long. So this is not just the 1st and the 2nd while people were still on the Black Friday sale. This is people who were coming in and buying a bunch of boxes of this all month long. And we've started to see that more and more and more month to month. In Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, and Crucible of War Unlimited, we see people come in and suddenly snap up all at once 5, 8, 10 boxes. And we see that again and again as people are starting to lay in positions as the actual depth of the market of those products starts to get thinner and thinner. Now, price-wise, November to December, we saw the prices increase only 3% for Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, so we really say that's in the noise. But 12% for Arcane Rising and 10% for Crucible of War. You know, I did a video back on September 25th, and I talked about the low market depth, especially of these first 3 sets, and how we could be seeing $100 boxes of all 3 of these by the midpoint of 2025. I still think that's possible. Moving on, Monarch First Edition, Tales of Arya First Edition, and Everfest First Edition. We'll plot those up here. And again, you do actually see an increase in the number of boxes sold on the cumulative box sales chart all through the month of December. So if we bring the month over month table up, we see a 31% increase in Monarch First Edition sales in December over November. Now that's something we would typically not expect. We would expect, again, Black Friday and then the Saturday, the next day after Black Friday, to have most of those holiday sales, and the Monday and Tuesday of the Black Friday weekend to not carry as many. But we saw a big increase, an additional 25 boxes of Monarch First Edition were sold in December over what was sold in November. Tales of Arya, a similar story, a little more dramatic, 36% increase in December over November. And Everfest First Edition, what is going on here? Somebody tell me why Everfest First Edition more than doubled its sales in December over November. Because remember, like I said a moment ago, bonus buck sales pull demand to the left on the timeline. And so you should not expect that December was stronger than November. It's absolutely not what you would expect. Monarch First Edition, Yeah, the price went up 10% in December over the average box sales price in November, but it's starting from a really, really low base of $52 average. Brutally low. It's amazing to see the capitulation, even as the market is getting towards tightening up. Now, with comparison to Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, and Crucible of War First Edition, Monarch is not nearly so tight yet as those, but it's slowly moving its way there. You know, it's probably going to take an extra 18 months. And that makes sense because it was released later than those other products and it had higher print runs. So we expect it to take longer to tighten up. What else do we have here? Month over month price increase for Tales of Arya First Edition, only 1%, and a 5% decrease for Everfest. Again, those are in the noise. We'll take a quick look at History Pack Volume 1. And what do we see on the month over month table? Yes, it fell by 40% in December from November. That's what we should really expect. That's kind of, if you just asked me to give a gut feeling, I would hope that would be my answer. Prices up by 8%, and we do not cover History Pack Volume 2 because there is no English printing for it, and I do not expect that it's really selling that well on TCG Player, which is a marketplace meant to serve North America. Moving on to Fab 2.0, Uprising, Dynasty, and Outsiders. Put those up on the plot, and again, you see the very, very large amount of boxes moved on Black Friday, and then these lines are shallower afterwards, so not as much action in December. And here we see it a 20% increase, but that's only from 55 to 66. So very shallow before Black Friday, very shallow afterwards. Dynasty, 144 boxes in November, and then down 40% to 85 in December. Outsiders actually up 28% from 99 to 127. All of the price changes pretty much in the noise, but again, you know, on these Fab 2.0 boxes, that's more or less what we expect for now. One day, when these eventually start to have their supply tighten up, then we'll see the prices rise on these, but it's going to be a while still for these boxes. Dusk Till Dawn, Bright Lights, and Heavy Hitters, we'll put them up on the plot here. Of course, the blue line of Dusk Till Dawn absolutely surprised us on Black Friday. If we bring up the month-over-month table, that was 117 boxes in November and 90 more in December. So yes, a 23% decline, but still very strong numbers. Bright Lights went from 39 to 38, and Heavy Hitters from 51 down to 22. A big drop on that one. Again, month-over-month price changes 0, 5, and 1%, more or less in the noise. Not really that interesting, but again, it's a Fab 2.0 product that is still widely available. Part the Mist Veil and Rosetta, finally. We see those on Black Friday, selling about 100 boxes of the red line of Rosetta and a little bit under that for the blue line of Part the Mist Veil on that weekend alone. Overall for November, 98 for Part the Mist Veil, down 40% to 60 boxes in December. And Rosetta, 200 boxes in November, 124 in December. Again, this is the kind of performance you would expect to see from a Black Friday November into a plain old holiday December. Price changes of 1%, not interesting at all. And lastly, we will put Part the Mist Veil and Rosetta up here with aligned horizontal axes. This vertical line here is the release date of both of these sets. So we've lined up their release dates on the horizontal axis, and we can see that red line of Rosetta still trails Part the Mist Veil by quite a bit. So the Hunted comes out January 29th. January 31st. I'm not tracking data for that yet because the sales just haven't been that interesting for it. I looked and it was something like 20 boxes so far. You know, it's not on people's radar yet. Definitely when I do this for the January sales data, it will be in there and it will contain release day with the massive spike that happens. We'll see if TCG Player and LSS manage to put together a giant dump sale before release. Let me know what you think, guys. This is 36 months I've been collecting these data, and some of the conclusions you can draw from that 36-month data start to get pretty interesting when you look at how big of the overall market is TCG Player. I suspect for Flesh and Blood, it's somewhere around 2.5 to 3% of the total Flesh and Blood market. So it's more than people normally estimate, but based on data that I can glean from 36 months of sales that I've recorded in this tool, probably 2.5 to 3% when it comes to Flesh and Blood. Let me know what you think. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.